All right, so same robe and almost a new year. Hello darlings, and welcome to Performance Perspective, where we talk about different performances and then we share our perspectives. But I guess what we're talking about here is my performance in 2023. I know this is not the thing for this channel, but I like it for myself. The point is that I went back to that video where I watched myself sitting here and doing all this stuff, and I talk a lot in it. Yes, I do. I ramble, girl. I ramble. But there were so many things in that especially when I'm pinning my vision board, there was like advice that I wish I heard again during this year, because if I have to be honest about it, this was a really tough year, which is so crazy to think, because when I looked at my checklist of what I wanted to happen this year, there were 3 things that didn't happen, but the majority, everything else was like boom, 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 like happened. So it's like those 3 things really don't matter, but there was one on there that mattered the most, and that was to start a family. This isn't going to be a woe is me kind of thing. I just kind of want to talk about what were my emotions that happened through the year. Something happened, and so the beginning of January, I was completely just angry and stressed, and it was due to someone else's words, and it wasn't even a one-time occurrence. It just kept happening, and I got to a place where I was like, wow, I'm being questioned about. A bubble literally just popped out of my mouth. Oh my gosh. Okay, so random. Okay, so I was being questioned about like, what is my worth within, whatever it was, and it really got to me. And in my head I was like, well, it'll happen, and I'll show them like all this stuff. And then of course this year it didn't happen, and it was tough, because it's not something where you go, well, it just didn't happen this month. There is a constant reminder every month that you didn't make it. I don't want to cry. I put the pathetic and empathetic, so just understand that how I feel now is completely different than the beginning of the year, which I'm so happy that I healed a huge part of it. But unfortunately, it wasn't till September that I completely was finally seeing the other side. If you've been following my channel, you might have saw that in August I completely disappeared because it got so bad that it was hard for me to get out of bed. And of course, the main thing everyone says is don't stress. And it's like, how do you just not stress? How do you let it go, kind of thing, when it continues to be a non-stop thing that gets into your ear and whatever. And you know what? This is going to sound so crazy. The thing that helped me, oh my gosh, we're fine. The thing that helped me was the Barbie movie. I know. I didn't even want to go see it. I was like, I don't care. And it was my husband that was like, I have a feeling like you'll like it, like whatever. Not realizing that this was going to be the thing that actually helped me heal a lot of my, cruelness, I would say, about me through each month. So, okay. And then September, we went to the UK, and there was something about that trip that completely just made me step into my own power and be like, wow, I really do got this. Cool. And something in a way I do regret is I could have spent this year appreciating it about just being about me and my husband and us taking care of things. But then I just got sort of in my own worst bubble, and I wasn't able to get out, and he could only just watch me crumble, and he had no idea what to do. That was the big thing that was weighing on me through that year. And I just wish I watched my video, where in the video I literally say like, enjoy the journey. And then it's like, I just could not enjoy the journey because I felt a sense of, no, I have something to prove. And now I'm like, actually, we're good. Whoa, ma'am, we weren't ready for that. But let's pull out the vision board of 2023 so I can show you. To me, this is a winning board. So the first one was 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Okay, this goal really happened because of you darlings that subscribed to this channel. So I don't think there's any words or more words I can say except thank you. Like, this goal was met not because of me. I would say this goal was met because of you. So thank you for subscribing to this channel. So along with 1,000 subscribers would be the 4,000 hours. Now, if you are a YouTuber and stuff, you know what that means. It means you get monetized and you can actually be paid for your work on YouTube. So that was a huge one. And I will say this, it shocked me because I thought this was going to be the thing that takes the longest. It was getting subscribers versus watch hours. Again, I was shocked, to say the least. But again, I think that this has not much about me about achieving this. This was you. So again, thank you so much. So even in the video, I was like, I have no idea why I have a spotlight. Like, I have no idea why. And I was like, well, maybe it's a sense of like becoming a performer. So that reminds me, I did make a video saying I want to be where the performers are. And so I do have a goal that will happen in 2025 that has to do with performing. So this one, I wouldn't say like, oh, I achieved it, but even when putting it on the board, I was like, I don't know. I'm putting it on the board just as a thing, but yeah. So this one was a thing of musicals. And I just remember having this going like, I just want to inspire other people to go see it and chat about shows and whatever. And I would say the best show I saw this year was Sunset Boulevard at the West End with Nicole Scherzinger. That, like I said, September was a very healing year for me. And so there was something about that show. And I went by myself and I was like, this is amazing. This is my life. Cool. And I'm also impressed, like, I went and saw Waitress as a pro shot in theaters, which was very exciting. And how many movie musical announcements or in the works is going on right now. So I'm like, man, it's really going, at a certain point, it's going to be like, look at all of these movie musicals and so much for us to talk about. So I am happy to say, like, yes, watching so many musicals. Oh, Into the Woods, when they did they had a lot of the OG cast from the revival come here. So I got to see Stephanie J. Block. Very exciting stuff, like so cool. So this is Broadway Cares. And I remember thinking it was because of Nicole Kidman and that $100,000 to get the Hugh Jackman hat in Music Man. And I was like, this is amazing. This keeps me thinking about who is it I would want to work with and all of these things. And as my aunt has said, no starving artist. She's an artist herself. And so that's something I always kept in the back of my head. And so it was like, how did I help? I did, in a way. And it was Mickey Joe, if you're a fan of Mickey Joe, samesies. So Mickey Joe went to New York and he was doing some sort of like run, a marathon, something. And it was a lot of, creatives that were, whatever donation goes in to them, they would go for this run. And that donation was going to Broadway Cares. And so because I wasn't able to go to New York this year, I did put in a donation. So in a way I was like, yes, I did do something for Broadway Cares. I also feel like, in a way, watching other performers and like YouTubes that talk about musical theater that are involved with it also is a benefit. And yeah, so I can say, yes, I did, in a way. So I did a whole thing on Cheryl and I was like, I'm gonna start singing again because I don't have the greatest voice. That's not true. I gotta stop saying that. My voice is fine, but as far as the techniques, the breath work, I haven't done it in years. I completely stopped singing. So there's something that happens in my voice. I call it the pigeon, where a certain pigeon noise comes out because my voice is like, whoa, 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 we don't sing, remember? And so I wanted to take her lessons on YouTube and start singing more. And you know what? I think this is the year where I'm like, let's start singing and stuff. Not that we're gonna go perform in karaoke, but let's start working on the voice to be strong again. A YouTube office. We didn't move. There is no room for me to have an office. I wouldn't say this one happened, but I do remember this year I went all green screen and I loved it. And it wasn't until a friend was like, maybe stop using a green screen because I don't know, maybe it gives it like it's too professional. So then people look at me like you're supposed to be an expert, and I'm not an expert. I just love musicals and theater and I'll know random things, but it's you that will say something. I'm like, that's so interesting. I didn't know this about the musical. And I really like that about this channel. The next thing is the equipment. So this did happen. So in a way, I'm like, I am ready for my office, and I'm wearing one of them, and I'm using them. The Rode mic, I did it. I got it, and the Sony camera, which you are on right now. So yay! I will say this though, is that I think the MVP as far as equipment, if you're getting into YouTube and stuff, is my iPad Pro. That is the thing that edits my videos, that whenever I'm traveling, I have finally found a way where I'm like, bring the iPad and then attach the microphone so I don't have to like bring my camera and do all of this. Like, no, because the point is like, let's sit, let's talk about shows, and we're good. So I would say the MVP has always been my iPad. Okay, now my personal things, as we know, do I have a family? Not yet. And then there is to straighten my teeth. You could probably hear I have my bite in. So yes, my teeth have been straightened. That was something I wanted to happen for years, because you can even see in some of my videos where it's like, I called it Bucktooth Sally, where I was like, dang, like it just, like she's coming out. And the thing is, adults would always say like, I didn't notice, but kids would always let me know about that. I think another one was to like lose weight, which is hilarious. Like that didn't really happen. But it was because I was like, well, if I want to, you know, have a family, it really doesn't matter. And now I'm like, you'll see in the next video when I talk about what I'm looking to accomplish in 2024, which is very exciting to me. But yeah, anyways, I don't even want to talk about that yet or get into it. The point is that the three things that didn't happen for me was have a family, Cheryl, and hitting a certain weight. And the thing is that when I look at that, I'm like, that's actually okay. Two of them I would say is like in my control, and one of them, you know, I feel like is up to my kids when they're ready to come into my life. And that's how I see it. But then there were, like I said, like the majority of that list, like boom, did it. Yes, yes. And then so much more. Like I did travel and that wasn't on my list, and the people I got to see, and it's been overall, even though I would say it's been an emotional year, it's been a really great year. And I hope that this helps people as far as like, enjoy the journey. That's all I'll say. Enjoy the journey. And I wish I chose a phrase for this year, and I didn't. And I usually do. And so it's okay. We will get to it for the next, it won't happen right away, but when the time comes when I talk about what is in my vision board, I'm so excited. So the thing I would love to know is like, how are you going to say goodbye to 2023? Do you look at your stuff and you're like, yeah, whatever, and chuck it? Or do you have sort of like a goodbye method? Because I feel like this is going to be my goodbye method of just celebrating the wins, acknowledging where I could have done better, and then finding peace for the things that didn't happen. So yeah, anyways, darlings, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I really do love like manifestation and vision boards and all of that. So yeah. And yeah, without further ado, take care, darling.